Jude Romano, the Insurance Goat. Welcome to another episode of the Insurance Goat Show, where we give entrepreneurs a chance to tell their story. Today, my friends, we have the social media sensation herself, Toni-Ann Fischetti, Cardinal Financial. How you doing, Tone?
How you doing?
Staten Island.
Staten Island in the house.
Not the only one with an accent on this show.
No. Listen, you can take the girl out of Staten Island, but you can't take the Staten Island out of the girl.
Hey!
I've been trying, realistically trying to tone down all
Never
this.
Never gonna happen.
No, it's never gonna happen.
Very heavy. Sign the docs. Send them back to me.
Send them back.
No, you don't get a point off your deal. You're working with Toni-Ann Financial. No points here.
It's what it is, Jude.
Toni-Ann, listen. For those of you who don't know, we worked at J.P. Morgan Chase together for a lot of years. We were in the financial military.
The
right?
Financial military.
We were in the military.
Trenches.
Yes.
And to give everyone else a background of you and I, we started together. I started there in 2010. You had also started, I think, around that same time.
Yep.
And we kind of went our divergent ways. I ran into you last year at the Staten Island Board of Realtors trade show, and I almost dropped dead. I was like, oh, my God, because I haven't seen you in probably 10 years.
Cyborg. Thank you, Cyborg. How you doing, Cyborg?
How you doing?
Friend.
And you're like, hey, I do insurance. If you need anything, give me a call. And I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Right.
And I don't know how you kind of came back in the fold over the next 10 months, but we had lunch together.
Right.
And that was a pivotal moment for me, Jude.
Yes.
Pivotal that I feel like.
Same for me. We had good conversation, good energy.
Yeah.
You know?
The person you were in 2010, the person I was in 2010, I don't think that we're those same people.
No question. We've grew a lot.
A lot.
Well, we've also been scarred from the financial industry of J.P. Morgan. Didn't they make us do push-ups in between cold calling clients?
They did.
Jude, they didn't pick up. Give us 20. No?
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
That's what it felt like, yeah.
But it was really good training for now that you're an entrepreneur, right? Running your own business.
Sure.
You take a lot of that away, what works, what doesn't work. I'm a little less militant, obviously, with my own business and my time, but it was a really good foundation. A lot of good takeaways and a lot of things that, that just don't work.
I thought about this on some of my tougher days, and now that I have someone here with me, talking with me, who also comes from the same background, I'm going to ask you this question because it's been something I ponder on my toughest days. When I was at J.P. Morgan, I thought it was a challenging job. I thought it was a rewarding job, but I thought it was a challenging job as far as the demand of what they constantly wanted from you, right? And now when I reflect, which is a word that I use every single day of my life, I think what we did at J.P. Morgan versus what we do today was a walk in the fucking park.
Oh, yeah.
Am I right or wrong?
100%. When it's your own business,
right, and
you have to maintain your own relationships, maintain, in some cases, right, your own P&L. At J.P. Morgan, right, you come in, you punch a clock.
Right.
They had an entire book of business, and that's how you ate. You worked off of their existing book of business, which was great that I didn't have to go out and hustle and solicit my own clients. Sure. I'm definitely working harder, right, for my own business, but the reward is so much greater.
No question.
When I started at J.P. Morgan, I was 29 years old. I got paid $37,000 a year. That was my base salary, and I thought I was hot shit.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
Could I go back to retail branch banking now? No.
Right.
Even though comparatively it's a cakewalk, can I go back to anything that's not my own business? The answer is still no, right?
True.
Could you go work in Costco? Could you go work for Allstate as an agent, right?
Right.
No.
Right.
No, you just can't.
No, it's an interesting point. I mean, look, if push came to shove and we had to for our family, whole different ballgame,
100%.
right?
I'd dig a ditch to feed my children. That's just
for sure
what it is. But if I had a career option to go back and work for a company or work for myself, it's work for myself all day.
Interesting. You know what I'll say to that is that I forget who I shared this with recently, and I don't know what made me think about it, but I said to myself, if a high up senior executive at JP Morgan called or emailed me tomorrow and said, "Hey Jude, we love what you're about. We need your energy and your expertise back here. We're gonna offer you, just call it 1.5 million a year." Right? I mean, that's a good number. That's a number that moves people.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Is.
And hand to God, this is God's honest truth, no BS. My answer is no without thought. I don't even say like, let me think about it. It's no.
I see you.
A hard no.
Right?
Right?
I see you. It's a hard no.
Yeah. So I mean, that in itself should tell anyone, the reward of being on your own, under your own terms, under your own conditions, and not feeling controlled per se. Yes?
Correct.
Right? And it's not to, by the way.
But it's a certain type of person. Like, my
Yes.
best girlfriend is a school librarian. She works for DOE. She's been there 20 years. And every year, because that was my original career path, was to be a teacher, she's like, you should just come back. Be a teacher, because that is her personality.
Right.
Right? Type A. I go to work. I punch the clock. I get my paycheck. I'm going to retire. I'm going to get a pension. I can't ever retire.
No,
right?
Right.
I'm going to be hustling.
I got to be honest with you. I don't see you as being a teacher.
No.
I'm
No.
sorry. Not that it's a bad thing for you to be a teacher. It's just like,
It's not, right. It's not in my personality. It's too confining.
No.
I can't be in a box.
No.
I can't.
The kid, you'll be fired, and the principal will say, Toni-Ann, you got to come to the office.
Right.
We heard you called one of the students a little asshole.
No,
we know you're from Staten Island. We know you're from Staten Island.
I know I curse a lot, but I'm not a...
You're telling me you would have called a little student an asshole?
No, absolutely not.
Swear.
My hands are gone.
Toni-Ann, I don't believe you. And if you don't believe me, watch her social media. She's a star. Let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about
Have I called children assholes on my social media, Jude?
Mean, I don't know.
No, I haven't called anyone an asshole on my social media.
I'm a nice
person.
I know that you're not the person to piss off.
Oh, yeah, that's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
Picture one of those little...
There's such thing as decorum. I know how to, handle myself.
All right, ready? Real life situation. Since we're gonna end this battle right now. Real life situation. Toni-Ann, English teacher for 7th and 8th graders. 8th grader comes in, takes a shit right on your desk before you walk in. Okay, I'm gonna give you the extreme. You come into the room, you let all the kids walk in. Everyone in the class is laughing.
Johnny
and there is
dropping trowel
No,
on my apple.
It's already dropped. It's already dropped. Okay, he shit on your Apple computer, and he sat down. He's looking at you and laughing. What do you say to him?
Obviously, little Johnny has behavioral problems, and I'm going to take him right to the guidance counselor. That child needs help.
You're not going to call him a little shitbag?
No, you would, you big dick. That's a jerk-off thing to say, this poor kid.
I'd throw him right out the window. That's why I'm not a teacher, so I could say that. I'd throw him right out the window. I wouldn't even call him any words.
No, I have compassion.
Yeah.
I'm empathetic.
Right.
I am. I'm a nice person.
So talk to me about your social media and your videos and your content. And, I don't wake up every day and say, what's my goal for social media today? I just want to always deliver messages and impact people's lives in any way I can. So that's my goal when I wake up, right? Not to be a social media star, but to be impactful. And
right.
so I utilize outlets that allow me to be impactful to thousands of people. But you, on the other hand, I scroll, and just the facial expressions alone, the dancing, it's amazing. So tell me, when did you become a star? Because you're a star.
It's fun, but I wouldn't say that it's not impactful, because I feel like I'm delivering a message in my clips. I feel like I have solutions. There's a lot of people out there that want to achieve the dream of home ownership, but just don't know where to start.
Amen.
And if my 10-second lip syncing video about, top 10 things first-time home buyers should know resonates enough with you to be like, all right, I'm just going to slip into her DMs or text her or give her a call, that was impactful.
For sure.
Right? You may never do business with me. You may never buy a home even, but I'm going to set you up for success. Tell me what you want, and I'm going to deliver it. for you. So I'm not going out there to try to be a social media star. It's just another way of advertising, right?
But I think you may become one without knowing
Oh
it.
God, wouldn't that be great?
I loved you. By the way, I loved a post you've done recently, and it was so quick, and I was kept trying to watch it to catch every word, but it was essentially like you introducing yourself, and you had like 10 or 12 bullet points about
Right.
who you are, what you like, and describing yourself, and I thought that was pretty cool, and take it a level of becoming a little bit more personal. So I
Right,
like
because
that.
people do business with people they want to do business with, right?
For sure.
You don't have to be a top producer. You don't even need to be at the top of your game sometimes. You just need to be human.
Sure. And we talked about that before, right? And it's the same for me. Like, I mean, I want to do business with everybody. But I think what makes it a little easier for anyone, for that sake, for you, for myself, is aligning with people that you align with.
Correct.
Right?
And I'm not for everyone, and that's okay. I don't need to be for everyone.
For sure.
The people that I'm for, my tribe will find me.
Amen.
Maybe on social media, maybe it's word of mouth, and you will know intrinsically, and this is all lines of business, if you want to do business with that person, on the first phone call, the first personal contact. So if you see Jude Romano, the insurance goat, on the social, and you get a chuckle, and you're like, this guy's great. I need a whole term life insurance policy.
For sure.
Maybe you're top of mind, you're the first phone call. Doesn't mean you're the best.
Right.
I'm going to know immediately when I call you if you're someone I want to do business with. Your social media was an advertisement. That's what gave me your name and phone number instead of like pulling out the yellow pages like it's
For
1988,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
All social media is just a different form of advertising. How do I stay relevant? How do I keep top of mind? And for me, it's going to sound like super corny. I really want to help people.
Right. No, I know that. I mean, we have the same passion and backbone to deliver. But I have to stop you for a minute. You said something before about you were supposed to be a teacher.
Yeah.
And then you just used this like really like huge word that listen. I went to high school and I did a little college. What the fuck did you just say a minute ago? Intrinsically? I can't even say it. What does that mean? I need to know what it means. You used like a really big word. What does that mean?
Oh, intrinsically?
Oh my God, you are a smart lady. What does that mean? I don't know what it means.
Now you put me on the spot and I
Yeah.
can't define it. Like my ADHD is clicking real hard right
Listen.
now. I'm like, I don't even know what it means.
You got to tone the words down a little bit. I'm gonna go. Bah, I don't understand these big words. Okay.
All right, keep it moving.
So it was-
I will keep it basic and simple from now on.
How has it been working full time and raising a baby girl at the same time?
It is tough. And this is not something that you will ever understand as a man. And I don't mean that I was going to say derogatory. Is that too big of a word for you?
I got offended immediately when you said this isn't something you're going to understand as a man. I'm just letting you know, just for the record, I'm not calling my attorney. Offended immediately. Okay, keep going. Keep going.
Because you can't understand it. A woman always has to choose between her family and her career. Always. Men have a gender role, right? You're always going to have the responsibility to go out and make the money, right? Was there ever a conversation with you and D like, I'll go out and work, Jude, and you stay home with the baby?
Listen, I'll be honest, and I don't want to get political here, but I get what you're saying, but I think that conversation has become less and less and less of a conversation today because of the way the world has evolved right now. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
Without going too deep.
Correct. I
Right?
completely understand what you're saying. But at the end of the day, if you ask 100 women, have you ever had to choose between your career and a family? The 100 women will say yes. If you ask 100 men, have you ever had to
Right.
choose?
I gotcha.
It's a lesser number.
I gotcha.
That's all
No,
that's
you're definitely
all
right.
I'm saying.
I mean, look, to be fair, right? No, it's a good point. But if like, let's say you were like a high end corporate attorney making just say $1 million a year,
Right.
and your husband was making $200,000 a year, that becomes an easy conversation. Right?
100%. But most middle class families are not that.
Right. That's
And
true.
In
That's
America,
true.
right, middle class, you need 2 working parents.
Yes, that's true.
Right?
You're
But
right.
in most cases, the women will take a lesser role in the career because she has to supplement with her family.
For sure.
Right?
Well,
So it's incredibly tough, but that's the reason why entrepreneurship kind of works. This is why I can't go back to working
The
for a company.
flexibility.
Right. I have a huge flexibility. This is even why I can't be a teacher. I have to be in school to punch my clock at 7:00, but my big one is 16. He's got to be in school at 8:00.
Right.
Right. How do I manage that?
Yeah.
The baby daycare doesn't start till 9:00.
Right.
But I got to be at work at 8. So how do we finagle all of this?
You're right.
Right?
There's a lot of roadblocks and a lot of challenges. So I mean, it's safe to say that one of the things that you admire and love about what you do is the flexibility about and being able to be a mom
100%.
and be a successful loan officer, loan originator, be a successful social media star. But I'll ask you this. What are some of the things you absolutely hate about the mortgage industry? You've been in it 15 years now, plus.
Right.
What are some of the things you hate about it? What are other LOs right away when I ask you that? What are they saying? Well, this is what I hate. I hate this, 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 and this.
In current rate environment, I think that that's on top of mind of everybody, right? Is that we are in a really unstable economic situation right now.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people are scared to buy houses, and that's how I make my living. If people don't buy houses, I don't get paid. So that right now is that my paycheck is determined by economy is one of the scariest things, where again, if I was a teacher, my paycheck is consistent. Or even if I was an hourly worker, my paycheck is fairly consistent. I think that's what most people are going to tell you is just
Sure.
economics is what I hate right now about being a mortgage loan originator.
The instability.
The instability. But that's, again, with every business, right? There's highs and there's lows. That's what entrepreneurship is all about.
But you just took the words out of my mouth. I mean, whether an employer or an entrepreneur, it's highs and lows in life, right? And how you become formed as an individual is not how you look at the top, riding that wave. It's how you look and
From
how
the bottom.
and the person you become at the bottom trying to swim out.
One of the most impactful things I've ever listened to, and I will encourage you and everyone to listen to it, was Richard Nixon's resignation speech. Okay? Disgraced president, sort of forced out of office because of Watergate, and the crux of this speech was, it's not from the top of the mountain that we learn, it's when we're in the valley.
Amen.
It was really impactful.
I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, just hearing that one line gave me chills because I feel it.
I
feel it, you know?
And take out of your mind, right, the political impact if you don't know anything about it or, American history.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
I'm going to paraphrase it, right? It's not when you're at the top of the mountain. It's when you're in the valley is where the growth happens and where you learn your biggest lesson.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's a good takeaway for me. I appreciate that.
Listen to it, Jude. I think it will resonate with you.
I'm going to run through the valleys like Tarzan.
Right. And then maybe even take it back a whole other step, no matter how deep your personal valley was.
Right. As long as I'm running with J's, Retro 1 J's all day in the valley. I don't care top, bottom, J's for days, cuzzy. J's for days.
What are J's?
How you doing?
I wear flippy floppies.
They ain't easy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't even know.
Well, so listen.
I don't wear shoes.
So listen, I'm not going to put you on a spot with questions that you're not really okay with. But what I'm going to ask you is this. And I'm going to tie it back to me and I'm going to tie it back to you. My job primarily is I work with lenders, right? So, I work with a lot of lenders, right? And I try to simplify the lender's life and the client's life by helping them with a home insurance, okay? And so my COIs are loan originators. A lender like yourself, your COIs primarily are realtors, or is anyone else I'm missing? It's essentially realtors, right?
Realtors, referrals, attorneys, you know.
Okay, sure. And so listen,
But it is primarily realtors.
primarily
right?
realtors, just like for me, it's primarily lenders. Like I get referrals from attorneys and other clients as well. So I think same concept.
Right.
And I'll share with you my challenges. And I ask you, what's your thoughts on working with realtors? Like, is it hard? Is it easy? Is it sometimes easy, sometimes hard? And I'd love to share with you my feedback as you being a lender.
Anytime you're working with a multitude of dynamic personalities, it becomes hard. You can't please everybody all the time. And like I said, I'm not for everybody.
Right.
So there's, just like everything else, right? There's people that you're going to click with that are going to like you for who you are as a person, who's going to respect your business and know that you're at the top of your game and refer you to their clients, because you're building a team, right? The realtor's job, whether you're a listing agent or the buyer's agent, is to close the deal, right? You want to do the best for your client. When you're not building a team from them from the onset, that's when things go sideways. You've done everything you were supposed to do as a realtor. You listed it, you hired the drone, you got the inspection,
Sure.
you negotiated a contract, and now Joe Blow from ABC Mortgage comes in, who doesn't know his ass from his elbow and can't close your deal.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's impactful. You need to know who you're working with, know the person, and know the product.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I agree. I mean, like for me, and I'm sure you could kind of understand, it's like I'm a broker. And as a broker, I don't work for an insurance company. I work for the client.
Right.
Right. But I represent 20, 30 different companies. So I'm not biased to any company.
Right.
So when a lender or a client says, hey, Jude, can you give XYZ a call? They're buying a home, they're buying a car, they're opening a business, they need life insurance, whatever it may be. My interest is how can I help the client in the best case scenario? I'm not saying I got to put them with Travelers or Allstate or Liberty or Progressive.
Right, because you're getting the biggest payout from
Right,
it.
it's all the same. It's what's
Right.
best for the client,
Correct.
And
And back to the team building, working with you is so super easy and seamless, besides the fact that I know I can trust you to take care of my clients, right?
Sure.
I'm not going to send them to someone that I don't personally use, because
Right.
Jude does have all my policies.
Amen. How you doing? I didn't pay you.
Doing?
That was amazing. That's by the way, that's a new GIF. That's a new GIF. We're making you a GIF.
Please do. So I'm trying to get my 16-year-old to do it for me. I'm like, hey, do you know how to make Giphies and Tiki-Takis for mama?
Tony, whether you know it or not, I mean, we have some history. We've worked at, like we said in the beginning, we worked at Chase together for a long time. So, we have this sense of feeling of things that really elevated us in our life from a career perspective. And one of the things I'm always extremely curious about with any guest or with anyone that I communicate with is what is something that you want to accomplish for yourself personally?
Personally, outside of my business, or kind of all tied in?
Toni-Ann Fischetti has a goal in her head that she wants to accomplish personally for you. And if that for you means being number one loan officer in Cardinal Financial, then that's for you. If it means you want to be the best mother, that's for you. If it means you want to, be Staten Island sensation on TikTok, it's for you. Whatever it is, what is Toni-Ann personal goal for herself?
I want to be able to give back to my community. Whatever time, talent, and resource I have, I want to share that to make an impact on the people that are around me, right? So when you say, I want to make $1 million, I don't want to make $1 million so I can take a Viking cruise down the Danube River, right? I want to make $1 million so I can give $999,000 of it to the food pantry, to my church, to my children's school, right? That's what I want to do. I just want to impact my community with my time, talents, and resources.
And I'll say this, and that's beautiful. And I'll say this, and it's not
and
because...
that's no bullshit,
no,
right?
well,
that is...
Well, let me elaborate on that. I'm not saying this because you're on my show. I'm not saying this because I know you. That's real. I know that. I know you. I know that when you just said that, you didn't say it to sound good. Like that's what you really feel deep down in your heart.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. And that's, we need more people whose agenda is placed right there. Who's your role model? And do not tell me you don't have one, because the last guest I had said he doesn't have one. And Chris LeConte, you're an asshole. You're an asshole. You don't have a role model. You should have said me, asshole. Toni-Ann, who's your role model? Not me. Who's your role model?
My grandmother.
Yeah,
Both of them.
Wow.
I look to them now that they're not on the physical plane for a lot of spiritual guidance. Both of them had it real hard. It was not easy being, a woman, a mother in the 50s. These two broads went through it. Maybe we're not the best mothers to their children because they didn't have the resources to be, but we're fantastic grandmothers to their grandchildren. And just with them sharing with me growing up their personal struggles was impactful to me. I know how my grandmother struggled.
That's the fact that you said your grandmother's your role models. That's beautiful. It's encouraging. You didn't pick some celebrity superstar. Toni-Ann, I want you to dig deep for this. Female entrepreneur, mother, multiple things going on in life. What do you say out there right now to women who have just mothered their kid for the last year or two and is trying to find their direction? And let's rephrase what you said. They're in their valley right now, trying to find their way to the top of the mountain. What does Toni-Ann Fischetti from Staten Island, what does she say to those mothers out there?
You have to take a bet on yourself. Take the risk and do it. It is worth it 100% of the time. And it's scary. It's scary as shit. But the reward is so great.
Amen.
Just take the bet on yourself. Don't listen to the naysayers like, oh, you have a baby, you can't be out selling real estate, and you can't be taking your baby to showings and closings, or you have a baby, you can't be selling insurance, or you have a baby. Yes, you can. And you're going to do it for you, but just don't be afraid of it, because that's where the devil slips in, the doubt.
Amen. We're gonna wrap up our show on this. This is what we're gonna wrap up on. And this is real right now. This is from the hip. Today has been a very challenging day for me. Been a very challenging day. Up until the point of right before recording this episode. Challenging. Not in my stomach. But I will say this. I rolled my sleeves up, although I don't have any sleeves on today. Figuratively, no sleeves on today. And I'm saying to myself, I got a show to put on. I got Toni-Ann coming. I can't afford to feel upset and depressed and angry right now. I can't afford to do that. And do you know why I can't afford to do that? Because they're two magical words that Jude Romano lives by. And it's simple. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. And I'm happy I keep going. And I'll tell you why. Because as we're sitting here discussing life events, history, experience, all that shit has left me.
Yeah.
It's left me. Because the show must go on. And here we are. Good days, bad days. We're here. And we're here to win.
100%. And this is therapy. This is just another form of therapy because your feelings are valid. You're allowed to feel like shit. You're allowed to have a bad day. You're allowed to have challenges, right? Don't discount that. Embrace it and keep going.
Amen. And so on that note, I asked Toni-Ann Fischetti, as I ask all my guests here at the Insurance Coach Show, what keeps you going?
Oh, my children. No doubt my children. Having this baby changed my life. If you would have told me a few years ago that I'd be 40 years old embracing motherhood again, I would have told you were crazy. She absolutely changed my life. My children keep me going.
Easy answer. Yeah. Same for me.
Yeah.
Easy answer. I mean, I love
And,
the
right, and
answer.
it's not a throwaway. There is literally no other answer.
There is none. Toni-Ann Fischetti, Cardinal Financial, dear friend of mine, years in the making, JP Morgan. Here we are, my own background, not JP Morgan, the Insurance Goat Show. You know how we do. Thanks for tuning in. Another episode. As always, keep going.